Are billionaires giving the billionaire the brush off when biz guys say Donald Trump still isn't their guy? Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you. I'm Neil Cavuto. And a new survey of Business Trade Association shows that they would happily trade Hillary for Donald and get this by a 2-to-1 margin. Apparently, it's not because they flip over her, but because they still do not know what to make of him. Charles Payne, Charlie Gasparino, Kennedy, Adam Lashinsky. Now, Ben Stein is off this week. Dagen McDowell, of course, has been doing her usual fine job, sub-hosting on Bulls and Bears. All right, so Charles Payne, to you first. To not know him is to not vote for him. What's going on?
Well, they kind of know him. They know some of the things he's thrown out. The main point people should know is that these are large organizations. They're trade businesses. They do a lot of business overseas.
Right.
And, you know, so they don't want to hear about trade wars. They don't want to hear about anything to do with currencies.
And by the way, trade association, by definition, you're petitioning something from the government.
You're petitioning something from the government. There's 16 of these organizations that cover 100,000 businesses. They do $3 trillion. We're talking the largest businesses in this country.
You're the one, they like her.
They like her. They like open borders. They like that. They don't want a trade war. But if you think about this, on the other end of the spectrum, the small businesses, which, by the way, have created all the jobs in the last 10 years, net, they probably, if we're polled the same way, would go for Donald Trump. They would probably be very happy about his insistence on building things in this country, his insistence on not outsourcing work and those things. So I think what we've got here is a situation where this just reflects the fact that big businesses know they can spend money, probably persuade who's ever in the White House. I got a feeling Hillary would be more acceptable for those funds than a Donald
Trump. That might be so. I don't know what a small business, or it might come out.
I'm talking about the large guys.
I understand. But I'll tell you, Kenny, that's the first time large business groups have skewed this way. Now, that could change when we get up to November, but that, if I'm Donald Trump, should I be worried about that, or should I use that as a campaign pitch?
No, I think this is where he should use his flexibility and dial back the rhetoric on trade and creating these massive tariffs and trade wars with places like China and Mexico, who are vital partners to us, because listen to the businesses. They don't want impediments. They don't want more regulation. They don't want more barriers to entry. And you're not talking about mom and pop shops. You're talking about places who do a lot of business overseas. My friend made such a good point. Step back before the election, before Donald Trump announced he was running. What kind of president would you think he would be? What would be his main issue? And it would be something like this, creating an economic environment for businesses to flourish. So,
well, we do see a survey, we have our own Fox survey that show on the economy he leads Hillary Clinton.
Average people.
So you can also say, as we show this and all, that economic growth under this president, the slowest we've seen under post-World War II presidents. So there does seem to be some wind at his back in that regard.
Yeah, I think for him it's better to have the big businesses against him, the crony capitalists. This is easier to run against. I'm not for a trade war, by the way. I think Donald's bigger problem, aside from big businesses, is not having a coherent economic message. When you're all over the place on taxes, when you're all over the place on whether you're going to renegotiate the debt or refinance it. By the way, refinancing the debt is nothing new. I don't know why he even brought that up, but he definitely said renegotiated. That's going to get anybody with an economic pulse scared. And I'll tell you one other thing. He does need these people to raise money. I was at a conference where it was basically fundraising central for Donald Trump, and the guys that are there are all fat cats. So he's going to have to get some of this vote.
Adam, is he winning over those folks? If you are Donald Trump and you're looking at a core base of the Republican Party, at least in the past, has been these fat cats, could it actually work to his advantage not to have them this go around?
I think it would work to his advantage with the voters, as you were suggesting, Neil. It won't work to his advantage in fundraising, as Charlie says. And I think the more important thing is this group of people that was surveyed, there is nothing about Hillary Clinton's economic policies that they like. There's only one thing about her that they like, and that she's not nuts. You know, they think that she will. She's for a stable world order.
One of them quoted in this FT article. By the way, the FT hates America, too. We know that. But one of them said, I'm kidding, to make the point, she seems malleable. In other words, that they could work with her. They feel that they could. Now, I don't know if that's true, but what do you make of that?
Well, in other words, right, she's for stability and predictability in the global world order, and I think Trump doesn't. And by the way, he probably would agree with that. That's sort of how he has run his campaign. No, we got to shake up those,
well,
that terrible
worked
world
fine
order
for us,
thing.
hasn't it? Predictability and orders work just fine, right, Kennedy?
No, not at all. And I agree. I think that she's a corrupt and unethical person. And, businesses, they don't really care about that. They're kind of like robots. They don't have moral centers. They just want to make sure that she's the person that they can pay in order to make the road smooth.
Well, they would like a coherent tax policy. They would like him not to go back and forth on whether he's going to renegotiate debt with China, which is one step before default, which is not good for the economy. I think there's two things here. I think Donald has to be more coherent, but the fact of the matter is that he should be appealing to small businesses and not these crony capitalists that pay off government.
I think the mom shops of this country do probably root for a Donald Trump. I mean, listen to what he's saying. He's saying he wants to bring things back here. Those are opportunities if he can do it, if he can bring manufacturing back, if he can bring those things back. And also, listen, but here's the thing, though. If you're a business person, you also have to think Hillary Clinton is going to continue the policies of Barack Obama, even though she invoked Bill's name this week. And it has, to your point, Neil, it's been this has been the worst post-recession recovery in history for everyone, big to small.
To that point, and I think this is really important, she can't run on her husband's record. He's the one who signed NAFTA. He was a free trade president. This is a Bernie Sanders Democratic Party.
Yeah, by the way,
she is going to stay in
all those trade policies,
including TPP. So she is going to continue leftward, and it's going to be impossible for her.
But let's be real clear. Small businesses like coherence. They like to know. Listen, what is anybody?
I don't think he needs coherence.
You don't think he needs to say?
You and I might want it. I think that they're perfectly fine.
I agree with Neil.
No, believe me, I agree with that. Did you hear me out? Politically, the more I's he dots and T's he crosses, to Mark Cuban's point when he was on, the more trouble he could get in. So keep it just rage.
Well, not only that, though, but here's the thing. You're saying coherent. He is being coherent within himself. Even this week in New Jersey, he says, I'm going to have a trade war. He's not flipping on that.
Wants that.
He's not flipping on that. He's saying he's going to have a trade war. Brace for it. Don't worry about it.
By the way, people who own small businesses understand the economy. No small business owner I know wants a trade war where it costs more to import whatever it takes.
No, they want more business. They want more business in this country. My husband is in manufacturing. They want to make sure the taxes are lower, there are fewer regulations, they can hire more people, and the more programs you have, like Obamacare.
But a lot of them also like the idea, maybe, if I can sell in this country and not have to compete against a cheap Chinese version of what I'm making, maybe it might be a boon for my
Isn't that his point, though? I mean, Adam, that he has been saying, well, things have been working out just dandy regarding the Chinese with our huge deficit. I mean, it's just working like firing on all cylinders for us, this relationship, this orderly way of going about business. I'm going to blow things up. I'm going to blow things up. What do you think of that?
Yes, I agree with you completely, and I think Charles had it exactly right. That is the mentality.
Wait a minute, how can you agree with me and Charles?
I'm absolutely right.
You're going to start running for something, Adam, because you're getting this flip-flop thing down pretty good.
No. You are both analyzing this situation exactly correctly. Charles, I think you're right. This is the way small business people think. They would like protective tariffs. I mean, it won't work. It's terrible policy. It will be worse than before. But you are right, I think, about what these voters think.
Adam, some small businesses. I just don't think it's a universal sentiment among people that own small businesses.
Not, but Charles is more right here than you are, I think.
No, but I'm just saying it's not a universal
sentiment.
They know. By the way, small businesses do sell stuff overseas. I mean, they don't want the borders closed.
And those same people, Charlie, it's been fascinating. They're those same people who have succeeded in selling overseas have then told reporters, but you know what? I'm for Trump because I'm tired of these people screwing us.
Well, they are screwing us, though. I mean, if there's one thing that Donald has right.
Charlie.
Really?
Okay.
Don't find the alternative word. Don't.
That's a term of art.
But you know, if you think about it, where he's on the strongest ground is on the trade deals. The trade deals are skewed against us. It's the notion of a trade war that makes no sense.
And he should make an ad out of that survey.
Yeah.
To your earlier point. All right. In the meantime, a week before.